Canva is massively powerful for building any creative asset you can think of. Video, they've got it. Photos, yes. Graphic design, you bet. Audio, yeah. They seriously have every asset at your fingertips with the focus on making great looking professional design. You can load in your brand assets from fonts, logos to colors, and then have anyone, contractor, team member, come in and keep consistent to your branding because you've set it up for them and they can jump in and create these assets for your next product launch, maybe an ongoing marketing campaign, or any part of your product or service or that for your clients. It's incredible. It's only becoming more powerful and available to many more businesses. What I'm going to show you today is my unique process for organizing it for any business like yours, and then getting started building out assets that will work for the entire customer experience, any size and format you need for any platform you need. So you'll be able to walk away from this quick training knowing how to use Canva confidently, and then starting to build assets in a matter of minutes in order to help promote your products and services online and ultimately serve your audience and grow your business. When you go to canva.com and you set up a new account, I recommend a paid account. You get a lot more features, and honestly, it's going to pay itself off super quick. This is what your main dashboard will look like when you log in. They have recommendations as far as what you're going to design next, whether it's presentations, social media, videos, right? We talked about all types of creative assets. They even recommend some down here as far as proposals, Instagram stories, Instagram posts. The list goes on. Resumes, cards, invitation. So you can definitely explore the variety of what they have available. But what we're going to focus on is kind of starting from ground zero. You want to first organize yourself, right? This first phase of using Canva successfully. And to do that, you want to first go into setting up your brand kit. Usually you'll see it as a tab over here. I already have it opened up. So when we open up the brand kit, what you'll see is you'll have the opportunity to literally add a plus and upload your brand logos. I do recommend uploading PNG or SVG versions of your photos so that way they're transparent and show up like this. So we just have some of our different brands in here and variations of our logos. So that way you can, depending on the color of the background, you can alternate from white, black, or whatever color combination you use. And then you can add in your brand color palette, your brand colors. So you can add in here, you literally just move it around or copy and pasting the hex, color, number, code here. And then you get these preloaded in so they show up every single time. And then if they already have a large library of fonts for you, but what you can do is if they don't have your font, you can, if you have the actual font files on your computer, you can scroll down here and do upload font and then select to upload the font from your computer. And when you do that, you want to be able to upload all the variations of it. So whether it's thin, bold, extra bold, italic. So in doing that, it gives you access to your unique custom fonts, and you don't have to feel completely locked into, say, the default fonts that Canva has, although they have a great library of default fonts. And then another thing you can do here is you can choose what your default header font is. We've opted to Gotham and a certain size, our subheading another size, and then our body another type. As your brand evolves, maybe you go through rebranding, you can always update these and it shows up as default, as you'll see in a second. So when you do this, this is you organizing your brand assets and the three essentials. And that's what, as far as simplifying what you need for a brand design pack, it starts as simple as fonts, logos, and colors. Keep it as simple as that, and then you can expand upon other strategies over time. So the second aspect of organizing yourself is organizing your folders. So what we have in here We have some folders in here that, in fact, we've just refreshed these of the 3 phases of our marketing content. That is, there's a phase of branding. So that's when we talk about our vision, our brand, our team. Convert, that's where it's all promotional related. And then inspire should be, it's right there. Inspire is, I would say, 80% of your content efforts. And that is meant to not give a hard sell, but simply inspire people to want to follow you and then eventually buy from you, which comes into play with these other types. We also have folders of sizes for Facebook specific posts that you can organize. Because if you click on these inside, say, the Facebook folder, what we may have is a design ready to go for Facebook banners for your profile, a Facebook group. Maybe it's square graphics. This one is more friendly for Instagram, actually, so we've kind of repurposed those. But square and other graphics like that for banners and whatnot on Facebook. You can also have an Instagram graphics, and in here, as you've seen with the Facebook, we'll have a lot of vertical versions and some square versions too that can work. Your Instagram Reels can go in here, and I recommend changing the names of these as needed based on what you're building. Even within this folder, you can choose to create a new design. And in this, you can search anything like LinkedIn. They've got that. Video. Look at all these options. They recommend different sizes based on the distribution platform. Here are some of the most highly suggested ones here. You can also do a custom design if you're building, say, a blog graphic for your website or something that requires a custom sizing. And then the nice thing here is, recent ones we've used, or you can adjust the pixel size or the inches if you need to do, say, like 8.5 by 11 for a normal PDF type workbook. So we have those organized down there. We also have folders dedicated to some of our photo assets. So all of our photos for our brand, approved brand photos that can be used again and again. Lead magnet photos and mock-ups, photos of our clients that we can feature, photos that are approved for our stock library, photos or designs for YouTube and designs for the podcast. And one thing we've done, for example, like Instagram, is in here can also be the graphics used for videos, because you can even export videos inside of Canva here. So one thing we can do is, let's say we open up this one just as a sampler. This should be a vertical, yeah. So it's vertically sized. And with this vertical sizing, what you're able to do is see recently used templates that what you can do is duplicate a new page here and even just refresh this, delete all the assets. And if you're like, hey, on this page, because it treats it as multiple pages, on this page, let's add in this template here. And it literally copies over the template exactly. Or let's say, oh, I also love this template. It looks like it's on brand. So just make sure it's cleaned up. Scroll through here, recently used. Oh, let's use this one. Scroll down here, there's animated stories. You can search for templates and styles you may be looking for what you want, but it's so powerful. So you get this template in place. It's kind of like grabbing one of those template photo frames from the store, and they've got a picture already inserted for you to give you an idea for sizing and whatnot and what you can do. And so we have these photos connected over here. So photos of the brand. Let's say we want to drag this photo. Click, drag, and then see I'm kind of cut off. There's a little bit too much headroom, so I can double click on this photo, resize it, expand it up a little bit here, and then I'm going to bring my head up a little bit more, hit enter. I'm going to bring up a little bit more so that way we can see the logo on the shirt. If I need to, I can always bring this stuff down a little bit. But then you're but then you may be like, hey, that's not my real font. So what you could do, double click, you can say, here's my text, or visit videosupply.com. And then you want to change the text or the font, which you can do up here. And then usually it shows your recently used or your top fonts. You may even opt to like, hey, let's just delete. Let's separate this, right click, ungroup all these. So that way I can delete this font directly. And then be like, hey, I'm gonna go to text over here. And then here are my top used fonts that are brand approved. Drag this over here. It usually automatically adjusts the color. So that way the contrast is easy to read. I clicked and dragged the corner there. So that way you can make it larger. And you don't lose the quality when you do that, by the way. So it's really powerful. So you can add your heading or your quote there. You double click on this, change the font. So that way it's more on brand. And then, yeah, you can literally mess around, pretty easily get comfortable with it. See like, oh, that color, I am going to change that color to my on-brand colors over here. Let's go with this dark green. Okay, this photo, let's use a client photo. So maybe we go down here and we're like, oh, this is a good one of our client because we're talking about X, Y, or Z. One thing you notice though, is we don't want that cropped off fully, so we're going to resize that, but it has a filter added to that photo. So one thing you want to do is go up here, highlight the photo, go to filters, go to none, see if that fixed it. That did fix it. So it was on one of these other filters over here, which you can always throw in if you want to. You can change the intensity, tone it down a little bit so that way it's just subtle, just there. But we're going to turn it off because this photo is already edited and ready to go. And that's a simple way to adjust the colors, the photos in those frames. Let's say you're like, hey, I want to build one from scratch. That's also a great way to go. Maybe we'll just delete this so it's all white for now. You can go to elements, and under elements, there's recently used, like I looked for light leaks, which adds some substance and personality, but there's also frames down here. So let's say, hey, I want a circular frame. There's a frame here. I want to add a circular frame for a photo I'm going to add in here. Let's center it up, click and drag. We'll add it right to the center down here, and it locks in for you. And then let's go to some of our stock photos. Feature one of our happy stock people here. Great photo. Let's center him up. Click, drag, hit enter. Here, I'll do that again. So like, for example, if you're like, hey, I don't want that photo anymore, you can hit delete and it goes back to this default element. I'm going to click undo. And what I want to do, let's say I want to resize it. So I double clicked. I can move it all around. I can make the image larger inside of that frame. And then, but I want to make sure I center him up. Provide some nice headroom, some alignment on the sides, hit enter, and he sized nicely. One thing you can do with this is like, hey, I just want to have this circular image of myself or whatever image I'm using. You can then choose to download the photo. But because there's multiple pages, you want to make sure that you opt to only select page number 1. So we'll click on that one, deselect all of them, select only page 1, hit done. And then compressing file, it doesn't really lower the quality, honestly, and it saves up some file storage size. So I like to click that. Transparent background, I recommend doing it when you have a white background and you just want to pull out this one image. And then I also like increasing the size as much as possible because that makes the quality even better. But you want to make sure that the size is correct to where you're going to be distributing this piece of content. Then you hit download and it becomes simply just that round image, and that's it. You can place it anywhere. So that's some ways to customize in there. One thing you can also do is the content you create inside of here, the assets you create, you can load into a content planner and it can become part of your scheduling calendar. There's some assets from our team for some of our clients created in there, which you can do as well for your clients. It's a powerful social organization, planning, and creation tool. And speaking of planning, this is the planning phase of Canva where you can plan out the content. We also recommend planning out in another project management software. So you know, hey, with this image, this video, this asset, what written copy can we include with it? Or with this video, we want to edit inside of Canva, which editing has limitations inside of Canva, but you can do simple reels and Insta stories. You can then plan when to publish certain assets. Go into your library, choose from certain assets, and then load that into the content calendar here. So that's one way to plan out your content from a scheduling side. And then creating the content, I did show you some quick start tutorials over there. Again, I would consider what you are looking to build. So they have all these templates inside of here. I would, going back to one of these sizes over here, one thing that's powerful is to make sure that you finesse it so that way it's on brand. There's templates in place that then any team member can come in and go and duplicate and create a new asset for you. So even with this one, this is a video thumbnail, so I can say, oh, how is a video going to fit in here? I can even choose to upload media myself from my device or computer, add it in here, and that's where a video can live. And then what I can do, because there are videos in here, I can click download and choose to download as an MP4 file or MP4 video, which is a video file. Keep in mind, you want to select the page oftentimes or multiple pages, so that way it doesn't take forever to download, especially as a video. But then let's say you want to download this as a back. Let's do a different one. This one. This is a call to action you can use. Put it into Insta story, Facebook story, LinkedIn story, YouTube shorts. The list goes on. What you can literally do is be like, okay, page 4, I want to use that. Let's download the file type. They have all these options. PNG is probably the best options for photos. If you're creating a PDF guide, a workbook, you can use the PDF. Print is what I recommend. This other one is a smaller file size, not as high quality. SVG, those are vector graphics that are more scalable and you don't lose quality, and they work really great, say, for websites. And then GIFs as well, if you have animated GIFs you're creating. Again, unlimited opportunities, but it all comes back down to how you approach organizing, planning, and then creating your content. Because if you don't have confidence around how this will fit into a bigger marketing strategy or advertising campaign, then you shouldn't necessarily jump into here anytime soon. You want to have first clarity on that. But you should definitely jump into here in order just to start learning and getting comfortable with your marketing content creation. So hopefully this quick start guide to Canva was helpful and that you're able to jump in and be like, oh, wow, there's so many opportunities for pulling stock footage from Pexel or using all these different elements in here available to me that I could search for. Flowers, elements, light leaks, thumbnails, mock-up graphics. Seriously, it's unlimited possibilities of what you can build and do inside of here. And it's amazing. So definitely recommend jumping in and using Canva to build out all of your creative marketing assets for your business. Thanks for watching this video all about getting started with Canva, one of those powerful tools out there for building creative marketing assets. If you found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow along the journey to get more useful strategies, tips, stories, and tutorials just like this. And we'll see you on a future video.